Hello, Professor. This is Jose Benales again, here to present the final project in your course, CSC 635. The final project in this course was to create a mobile app from using knowledge from previous coursework. In this case, we are creating an Android application using Android Studio. And the purpose of our application was to create a database for our customer so that they can input products and customers into their application. Our generalized customer was computer shop. Doesn't have to be anything specific, just a shop that sells desktops, laptops, mobile phones, etc. And we can create a database where they put in mobile phone or product names, descriptions, price, and in addition, they can also put in information for customers, such as name, phone number, things like that. So that is our abstract. And the way that we are going to be building this is considering two different use cases. The first use case is so that the customer can go in there and insert their product information. And once they have their product information saved in their database, they can now recall that information and be able to view it. Additionally, is the same thing, but this time for the customer. The customer, they can input customer information and then display customer information. Again, we'll be using Android Studio. We'll be using an emulator to emulate the application on emulated Pixel 6. And for our database, we'll just be using SQLite. We won't be using any other online databases, MySQL or anything like that. All right, it was going to be a simple application where we have a main menu where we can choose the view. And then from each view, we can then enter the data on one view for the customer. We can display the data for the customer and also for the product. And we can enter data for the product as well. It was a very kind of simple application, main menu, entry view, and then display view. And that was it. So based on this two simple use cases, architecture and conceptual drawing, we then created an application on Android Studio. And in here, you will see that we have, I don't know if I can zoom in here. Probably can't see it very well. Hopefully you could. But in here, we have created a project file where we have customers. And in this customers folder subsection, we have customer activity where we put in the customer information. We also have customer detail activity. And this is where we display the customer information. We now also have, in addition, a product activity where we input product information, and product detail activity where we view the product detail information. We then created two kind of data structures, a customer data structure and a product data structure. And in these two data structures, we put in the fields for what we're looking for. In this case, it's these for the customer: first name, last name, address, city, state, zip code, phone number, etc. And then for the product ID, name, description, price, etc. So that's the basis of our structure. Then from there, we created a data source and a database helper. The database helper enables us to create the tables. So we create a customer table, we create a product table. We're able to open and close the database and use SQLite. The data source is where we're kind of manipulating the queries and the different database functions. So here we are able to now insert product, insert customer information, get customer ID, get product ID, get info from customer name, get info from product name, things like that. So this is customer data sources where we incorporated our database functions. Cool. So now we then had to create layouts for these, right? So our layouts are here, and you'll see that we'll start off with the main. And in the main, we have this layout where we just have 4 buttons, and the 4 buttons will take us to the different menus that we just discussed earlier: the product layout, the product detail, the customer layout, and the customer detail. And then from there, we then created the customer layout, and I'll show you this one where we put in customer information, first name, last name, address, etc. So you'll see that there, as well as customer detail. And then here is where we're just going to display our information for customers, and replicated the same thing for product. But in product, it's only product name, description, and price, as well as product detail. So that gives us kind of a high level overview of our application. And now we're going to run it just to show you where we're at. I'm going to play it, get our emulator running. Hopefully it's okay. There it goes. Hopefully you can see it. Oh, there's the app. It's coming up. I have some dummy data already populated in here, but we're going to incorporate more data just so that we go through this exercise. So on product layout, we're going to go in and enter product name, and I'm going to put in computer. Oops. My computer's a little slow. Computer 1. This is going to be high speed, whatever. Price, we're just going to say 100. Save it. Cool. Now we're going to say, how about laptop 1? This is going to be a super high-speed laptop, but this one's going to cost 200. Let's just say, save it. And the last one, we're just going to call this a mobile phone 1. And this is going to be, we can call this one a 5G fast internet mobile phone. And this one, we're going to call it 200, 300, whatever. Save it. Cool. All those are saved. We can now go back into our product detail. And we can press this button, and it'll give us, this is what I inputted before in my previous one, but we can scroll down and you'll see that these are the ones that we just put into our database. So now what we can do is we can click on computer 1, and in computer 1 you'll see that it's ID 11. That's the 11th entry in our database. Computer 1 is the name, high speed, description, 100 is the price. And we can do the same thing for the laptop and the mobile phone. So there we go. Now we do the same thing for customer detail. Oops, sorry. Customer layout. In the customer layout, we're just going to say, call him Bob. So address 1, call it 123 Main Street in San Diego. State, California. Zip code 99999, because why not? Phone number is 111111111, because why not? We're going to go down, and then we're going to save it. And now we're going to call this guy John. Oops. Stevens. And he's going to live in call it 555 this street. Okay, that's fine. We'll just do a couple entries just to get the idea. Okay, so now we save those, we go back, and we can recall our customer detail. And so we go click this button, we can see our customers in there. We put in a Bob and a John. We're going to click on Bob and Bob. is Bob Doe from 123 Main Street in San Diego. And John is John Stevens, 555 this street in San Diego. All right, I think that completes our project. We were able to create a project in Android Studio, create the 2 use cases, one for product, one for customer, building it with our Android application emulator using SQLite database per our proposal here. And our customers are now happy because they're able to use our application to input customer data and product data and be able to recall it by the click of a button. So that completes our presentation. Let me know if you have any questions.